What's up, guys? Garrett here again. In this video, I want to do some sourcing. I just started Bookmine, and I'm still, learning all the ins and outs of it. But I've gotten, enough. I've got about a month in now that I've been doing the sourcing on Bookmine, and so I feel like I can talk about it now. I mean, it's not too much different than Keepa. It's just they're eliminating all the books that have zero value in them. They've definitely been able to, narrow it down for you a lot more than what Keepa can. You can find all these books on Keepa having the right criteria and everything, but they kind of do the criteria for you, number one, and number two, they also get rid of all the books that just aren't worth it whatsoever. Not quite sure how they do it, but they do it. But let's hop in the computer and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like I said, I've been doing it doing Bookmine for about a month. I did like a free trial before I dove into it. And so I've got a little bit of time under my belt with it, but just not a lot. So like if you're watching this and you see me doing something that you're like, man, I wouldn't have done that, let me know down in the comments. But like I said, they've done a pretty good job of narrowing it down. I've honestly haven't been messing with any of this stuff up here. I'll do a Bookmine score every now and then. I'll put that up just to see the top of the iceberg type of stuff. But I find that when I do that, they're bought like pretty often. Like I'm not for sure on this. Like if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. But I think that it updates at the top of the hour every hour. So like at 10 o'clock, it updated. So I'm assuming whenever you get to like the top of the hour, you might be able to take advantage of the Bookmine score a little bit more. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I believe that's how it works with on here. But honestly, I haven't even been messing with this too much up the top. I've just been coming on here, logging in, and then checking out what they're offering, what they're suggesting for me, because I've gotten quite a few books that way. I've definitely just going off of Bookmine. I am paying for not the one-on-one coaching, but the group calls. I've been going on those, and they definitely have a lot more lenient criteria than I have, and that just tells me that I need to loosen my grip up a little bit on my books that I'm buying. If there's profit there, at all, maybe try to squeeze it out, especially since I've gotten to where the cash flow is going pretty well, so I probably need to spend a little bit more money from week to week. But this really shows you exactly kind of what other people are looking for. Like some books that I would have passed on because it's like 30% ROI. A lot of other people are hopping on it and going with it. I mean, because sometimes that 30% ROI is like $10, profit, and that's great, that's really good. I know it's only 30% ROI, so I mean you're spending quite a bit of money to make that $10, but you're still making money, and that's the whole premise of this game, really. But for the longest time, I've just been super strict on what I'm buying because I've been haven't had a lot of money to spend, so you have to be more strict whenever you're buying books. Whenever you don't have a whole lot of money, being strict on only 100% ROI. That's where I was for a long time, and then after a while I've reduced it down to 50%, and then now I've been doing that for a while, but now that I'm on Bookmine, I'm seeing that people are even going for even a little less than that. And if you got the money, run with that, but like I said, if your capital isn't super well off, maybe you do need to be a little more strict. But that's just my opinion on it. Obviously there's other ways to look at things. But you can see on this Bookmine deal, like all these books, like this book here, buying at 25, you can see that it's sold right here at, you know, close to $60. Like that's, you know, you're gonna make, let's type it in. If I bought it for 25.87, which I think it's a little more now, but we'll go off of this price right here, 25.87. If I bought it for that price, 25.87, and say, let's look at what it actually sold for at that time. Right here, selling at 55. Looks like there might even been a sale up here at 70 possibly. There's probably some sales up here in the 60s, but we'll put it at 55. Oops. See right there, it's only 39% ROI, not a huge, or 18% margins, not huge, but not really bad. And then you're making $10 profit, you know, so you're spending $25 to make 10. That's not bad. Like, you know, like, but it's something I'm passing on right now because, you know, I'm not, you know, trying to squeeze. I've already kind of bought all the books I made this morning. I wanted to make this morning. So unless I find something that's like golden, literally Bookmine, mining for gold. Unless I find something golden, you know, then I'm probably not going to pull the trigger on any of these. But something like this, like, looks like it's a little bit of seasonality possibly, like the gosh dang it, sales rank drops. It kind of picking up right here, and you can see the price reacted by the dip in supply. But let's check it out. So right now I can get it for 46 plus $3.99 shipping. And yeah, it's constantly selling up here. I definitely wouldn't buy it for the 46 price. But look, I mean, right here it's popping up to that price up there. Is this like a high school thing? Let's see, back here was May. It was a May thing. Counseling across cultures. Maybe it's like a summer class or something where it kind of pops off during that summertime. Because you actually have 3 seasons of textbook like spikes, sales spikes. Is, you know, obviously August and January, because those are big semesters. But there's also a little bitty bump, not bitty, but it's significant, but not like crazy like August and January. But May for like the summer school, that kind of pops off a little bit. But this book consistently stays in the 70s and everything. If I could get this, let's see, if I could get it at 40 and it sold for 75, I mean, like, you see, like, this is another example, like 32% ROI, 17% margins, 13% profit. Like, that's not bad at all. Like, that's pretty good. You could definitely make money selling this book. And you could even go higher, like, for example, right here, it could go up to 120s. But I would assume, especially with the offer count being up here, well, I mean, it's not really that high comparatively. But I would assume that I'm not going to get it at this $100-some price. It's probably going to sell for the 70s, 80s, somewhere in there. Most likely, at least. But you never know. You could get it sold for more. I mean, this book sells like crazy. If you price it high, you might be able to snag a high sell. But this isn't, to me, this isn't like the gold standard. You know, like, if we can find a book where I'll make 100% ROI on it, like, and that's like the median, not the you know, top of the mountain, as the Bookmine founders would say, not the top of the mountain, but the kind of the shoulders of the mountain. If I could get it that 100% ROI right there, that's a golden book for me. For me, obviously, everyone's different. Everyone kind of looks at, you know, selling on Amazon differently. But that, to me, the price where it's at the peak of the mountains up here, and the top price, you know, you're getting 150% ROI, the shoulders 100% ROI, and then the low price, it would be, you know, 50% ROI. That's a golden book to me. But like I said, I've been trying to kind of give mine or pull back on the reins on what I'm kind of trying to look for, and when it comes to books, that way I can spend a little bit more money. But I also can't go overboard. I'm not raking in the dollars yet, you know. I think last time I looked at Sellerboard, I just hit 70,000 in sales for the year. So, you know, doing good. That's off of spending for the year. I've spent $32,500. So I mean, you know, I'm not quite in the positives yet, but I'm getting there. It's growing. It's growing slowly but surely. That's what I always, you know, I'm trying to figure out the tax deal and everything, because that obviously tax season's coming up. Q4's here. I'm always trying to figure that out. Like, how much am I going to owe? But I never know. I always just hire somebody to do it for me and pray that it's not a bad dollar amount that I owe. Right now, I put aside 15% for taxes. I know that's a little low. I think 30% is the recommended that you put aside for taxes. But I take advantage of all my write-offs. I'm not like planning on buying a house or anything anytime soon. So, you know, I think 15% would be plenty. Especially with this business model, there's not a whole lot of expenses and stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah. See, I'm still learning taxes. I still get confused with taxes and stuff, and like the lingo and what's good and what's bad for taxes. I want to get me a tax professional that just like coaches me all year round. That would be nice. Let's see. Sell out very likely. This one looks promising. I like this whenever it says sell out very likely. It really interests me, because, you know, that tells me that the offer count is just plummeting. Has like next to nobody on the listing, and look at how much it's selling. It's selling like crazy. So you pick this book up at 1767. There's 6 options. Dang, there's a lot of them down there. 1767. What's the prime? 1767. So yeah, 50 is the lowest. So we'll see what that is. 1767. And we'll say 50. So yeah, so you're making, you know, 77% ROI on the low end for that. Well, I mean, historically, the price is a little bit lower than that 50 price. But since it's so low, since the offer count is so low, you probably are going to be able to get it sold for that high, north of 50. Especially since all the prime, it goes from 50 to 65. So if we got it at 65, that's huge. That's 100% ROI. I would say 65 might be like the peak, though. I mean, I know the peak is technically up here at like 100 something. I would say the peak's more at that 80, 84, because who knows if someone got it sold at that price or not. Even if we zoom up, it's, you know, it's hard telling. There's not really a drop, so they probably dropped their price down to this 45 range. But this is definitely a book that I would consider golden. I'm not gonna pull the trigger on it right now. But this is definitely a book I would consider golden because of that. Like, it's at the low end, we're at 77. That's, to me, the 50 price is the low end because of this low offer count. I know that it, like, if you look at it historically, it's definitely been lower, a lot lower. But you got to take the offer count into consideration. Every time it comes down to this 1 or 2 or below 10, it pops up to the 80 price, 100 price. Over here is 100 price. I don't think the 100 is realistic, but the 80 price I think is realistic, because you open it up here and we do have drops. May not be for 80, you know, could be down here at these lower prices. But it's, you know, you got to take a little bit of risk in this business, and that would be a risk that I would that would be a bet that I would take, that I could get this sold probably around the 70s. If I got it sold at 70, like look at there, boom, 173% ROI, 43% profit, $30 profit. This is a golden book to me. Now, one thing that I've also noticed is you find a golden book like this, it doesn't stay very long, especially on Bookmine. Oh, it's available. Yeah. Oh. Nah. I'm not gonna go. No, I'm not gonna go for it right now. I've already spent quite a bit of money, so I'm kind of being super picky right now. That's what the Joji and Victor, they came out with a video recently that suggested you buy 10 books a day. I'm at about 800. Well, probably I just hit 900 books in stock. Obviously that fluctuates as I sell books, but I agree with them that you should look for 10 books a day starting out. That's because you got to understand that if you have $100 or something and you have 10 books in stock, it'd be wiser for you to buy 10 books that are not worth that much, but you can double your money, but you're only spending like $5 or $6 per book, that you can up your inventory. You know what I'm saying? You want to get your inventory up to that like $500 mark in inventory, because right at that 500 is about where you start hitting sales every single day. Obviously you can do it faster with faster moving books. You can, kind of pick and choose which books you want. If you want to do the faster selling ones, you will see sales every day in the lower inventory range. But if you're just buying books kind of like me, and it's just, buying whichever ones, makes sense price wise, no matter how long it takes to sell, then you're, around that 500 mark is whenever you'll start getting sales every single day. So for me, in my stage, I'm focusing on how much money I'm spending. So if I buy $100 book that I plan to sell for $200-$300, I don't really necessarily, think that I need to buy 10 of those, in a day. But, they're right that in the sense that, starting off, if you want to get your inventory up 10 books a day, get going. But then I feel like once you hit a certain amount of books, you kind of want to look at, how much you're spending per week or every 2 weeks or something like that, or every month, however you want to look at it. But I feel like you want to look at that once you hit a certain spot, because right now I'm hitting sales every day, multiple sales a day, no problem. And getting blanked for me, or having no sales in a day, I call it getting blanked. Getting blanked in a day for me is very rare anymore. That's happened to me 3 times this year, where I didn't sell one book in a day. So, volume isn't really what I'm looking for right now. Quality is more what I'm looking for. But as I said at the beginning, volume's what you want. You want to get as many books as you possibly can in your inventory as fast as you possibly can. That way you're not wondering like, why the heck am I not getting sales? Well, it's because you have 50 books in stock, Of course you're not getting sales. Get more books in stock and then you'll start seeing the sales coming, But I bought this one already on 25th, not too long ago. But that's just my take, Everybody, there's so many different ways to run this business, man. I was listening to some of the Books and Beyond recordings and stuff, and it's like, man, it's just like there's so many different ways to look at this business. Like the way I'm looking at it, I guess the way my business is unique from what I've heard from everybody else is I'm doing a mix of FBM with FBA. So all of my books go to FBA, and then all the DVDs and CDs and vinyls, I get shipped to me, and I FBM them. So I have like this big old inventory sitting next to me right over here, that is definitely, it takes up space and stuff, but I love it whenever I get one of those sales, because I know that money's coming back to me fast, and I know that I'm squeezing out as much profit as I possibly can. So it's just telling me that, that I can run two different things, one for long term, which would be FBA, and then one for short term, which would be FBM for me. But it takes a lot more time, like every single day. Well, I wouldn't say every single day. I'm almost to the point where I'm doing it every single day. I'm packaging up FBM orders, you know what I'm saying? So it's, if you got the time, I'm making time. I don't have the time, but I'm making time, to squeeze out what little extra profit I can from those FBM orders. It's just been super nice, and I never once, I was under the impression that FBM was just like horrible. Like, you don't want to do it, you want to only FBA. But, after, learning from so many different YouTubers that are talking about this, it's like, I think a little bit of hybrid, a little bit of both, I will say that DVDs feel like they're a little bit more, I don't know, faked. You know what I'm saying? It's harder to tell when they're faked and stuff. But I don't know. I'm willing to risk it, because I'm able to look at the DVD, and if it looks like blurry or something, I'm like, nah, I won't sell it. Return it or dispose of it, whatever. I'm not gonna say that, I know exactly when I see a faked book, it's fake DVD, because I don't, I'm just assuming like this looks fake, and if it looks fake, I won't pull it, or I will pull it, and I won't attempt to try to sell it or anything. But yeah, maybe one of these videos I'll make a FBM video solely. That way I can kind of explain, what I'm doing for FBM. It's literally the same thing. I'm not doing anything different. Like how I'm looking for books is how I'm looking for DVDs. For example, like books, I'm on Bookmine, because that's just, it filters it a lot better. Filters out all the bad stuff a lot better. But for like DVDs, when I'm looking for that, I'm hopping over here, going on here onto Keepa, and looking at the movies and stuff, just doing what I usually do, trying to figure out if I can't get some profit squeezed out over here with this, instead of sending it to FBA, because as soon as I get the DVD, I could list it immediately. I don't. I let it build up until I have like a whole bunch to list, and then I list them all. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it with FBM orders, at least, because it's really not anything different. It's all the same. I'll buy DVDs that will probably be forever before they sell, just knowing that I'll be able to squeeze out all that profit, and that's worth it to me, even if I have to drive to the post office every day. That does get annoying, but it'll be worth it, especially once if I could start getting like five FBM sales a day or more, then I'll start having the shipping companies come pick it up at my house. Right now, whenever I only have one DVD that sells, it's kind of pointless to spend $4 for them to come pick it up. But if I'm making like 5 sales a day or 4 sales a day, that's $1 per DVD sold. So I'll take that bet, and I'll go for it. Let's see. This one looks promising. Political savvy, huh? Let's see, 1935. Let's see. I mean, looks like the regular price would probably be around the 50s, but it's also getting sold quite a bit down here, and the offer count is rising. I get nervous when the offer count rises. This one does come back down though. Like it'll rise and then drop back down. So that's a really good sign. But whenever the offer count's rising, you just never know. I've bought in books that, they're dropping in price, offer count's rising just slightly, and then I buy them and then the offer count just skyrockets up here. Why that is, I don't know. The supply deal may have happened where it's just so much easier to get it, and everybody sees the same thing I'm seeing, and they're like, oh, I could buy 50 of these. That might be the issue. I don't know, but I just get nervous whenever the offer count's rising. Like, why is it rising? Why is it becoming so popular all of a sudden? Of course, you never know. The not vice president, but the one of the contending vice presidents had a book and, sold like nothing on Amazon. And then as soon as he got announced that he was running, the book took off. And it was like, man, I wish I would have known. But there's no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing that that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be at the right place at the right time, have 50 of those books just chilling at your house, and then time it right to take advantage of it, because there's no way of predicting things like that. Whenever like an author passes away, their book sometimes their books like skyrocket in demand, so the price skyrockets up, and if you have 50 or 100 of those books sitting around, you just made bank out of nowhere. And it has nothing to do with oh, I knew it was gonna happen. Like, no, you didn't. You just got lucky. Sometimes I feel like that's what business is like you work your butt off for a long time, and then boom, you get lucky, and then it's like, oh man, I knew it was gonna happen. Like, no, you didn't. You got lucky. But I'd rather be lucky than broke, I guess. I'll take luck every day. But all right, guys, I think I'm going to end it there. I just wanted to do a little bit of sourcing on Bookmine, show you kind of what I'm looking at and whatnot. It's definitely a big improvement from Keepa. It definitely is worth the cost if you know what you're doing. If you know what Keepa is, you know how to look at a Keepa graph, and you can instantly tell what you're looking for to buy. I think that Bookmine is, there's no other software out there that's going to benefit you more. But again, you have to know what you're looking for. Otherwise, you'd be better off training yourself on Keepa, getting like the basics down, and then diving into the Bookmine and buying it and everything. Because it is worth it. It's just gotta have the knowledge, build the knowledge and then dive in. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.